Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Adventures in Truth livecast. My name is Jim Case. I am the host of the show and super excited to be here and glad to see you here as well. Thank you for being part of the Adventures in Truth family, and thank you for watching and listening, whether you're watching the live shows on Wednesday and Fridays or whether you're listening to the podcast that's available 24/7 on our website, adventuresintruth.com. I appreciate you being here. Today's going to be a really good show. Today is going to be interesting because there's other things that have come up, but the thrust of this show is sort of talking about the week that's occurred and some of the profound things that have happened in my world that I want to share with you and talk about because they're significant and because I think they matter to the bigger scheme of things, which we're going to get into in a little bit here. When I say the bigger scheme of things, I'm talking about the world at large, not just our individual unique worlds. But so we'll do that on the other side. We'll talk about, we're going to dive into each of those segments. We're going to do a different special meditation today, and I'm going to intro that in just a moment. But I'm so glad you're here. If you like the show, if you enjoy the show, please share it. Please send it out to the world and let other people know about it, whether, again, it's the live show or the podcast. I love having you here. Love your interaction. If you have questions during the show, if you'd like to interact with me live during the show, go to Adventures in Truth Facebook page. And there where the live stream is happening, you can type right into the live stream and you can send over a question or a comment and I'll respond to it live on air. And I'd love to do that. So thank you for being here. We're going to have a great show. We'll be with you right after this break. Dun, dun. All right. We're not. My world is good yet. Here we are at Fear is a Choice book. Hi, guys. I hope you had a chance to check out my book. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, IndieBound, Kindle, anywhere good books are sold, you can find Fear is a Choice, Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love. Powerful book, impactful book that will change your relationship with fear. And that's really what my platform is all about. I want to see you, all of us, become the best version of us that we possibly can be. And the greatest way to get there is by changing the relationship with fear, because fear in and of itself is a constricting experience. So when we are dealing in fear, when we are connected to fear, we are dumbing down our experience. We're dumbing down our consciousness. We're dumbing down the energy of all that we are to a specific and limited focus. And so changing your relationship with fear opens things up in a very different way and opens you up to much greater potential and opportunity, and particularly the potential and opportunity that's available to you that you can't access in that constricted place. So I encourage you to check it out. Go to www.fearisachoicebook.com. Great website there. You can find out more about the book. You can read testimonials and reviews. You can watch video, but you can also order the book directly from there. And nothing special as far as that's concerned. You can go there and order directly. It goes to Amazon or IndieBound or Barnes & Noble, whatever your favorite is. And I appreciate you for that. I know that it will impact you greatly. And after you've bought the book, and if you've bought the book, one, thank you for that. And please make sure to head over to wherever you purchased it and leave a review so that others can partake of your experience of the book, but also it helps to elevate the book so more and more people get to see it. So again, thank you for that. fearisachoicebook.com. Check us out. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you to order that book and see those transformations happening in all of your lives. Super exciting stuff. We're going to be right back. Got to find my right button here. All right. My world is good. My world is good. My world is good. My world is good. This is so, so, so important, y'all. I was watching a little bit of news earlier, and it really struck me as we're watching again with Israel and Hamas and all that's going on there, and the hate crimes that are going on with the Jewish people and with or Asian people, and the craziness to me that makes no sense as to how you could possibly look at any other human being and think that they deserve to be beat. I saw a video in the middle of New York, a Jewish man getting pummeled by complete strangers for no reason other than the fact that he was Jewish, and running away. People running up to this person and kicking him and then running away so that they wouldn't get caught. It's just disgusting. It's sad. It's pathetic. And beyond that, I don't want to go there because it gets me too wound up, and I don't want to use my energy that way. Joining this movement, My World is Good, is one way that we can together create change. And I want to emphasize something here, and remembering that when you step into creating change, when you set an intention that's powerful, that's impactful, remember, it's important that you remember that you are at a starting point and you are setting a destination, or you're setting maybe not a destination. You're setting a place you want to get to. The things that are in the way of from where you are now to where you want to get to have to be moved. There has to be a path of alignment that gets you to that. My World is Good is the foundation of this, experience, to lay this energy out there. This is the penultimate. This is where we want to go. My world is good. And recognize that as you embrace that, the things in your world that don't align with that will have to begin to change. And if you can simply be with those changes, you will see that, like everything else, it's always working out for you. Everything is working in your favor. And when you focus in My World is Good, if you begin to see negative things happening, you don't have to embrace them. You don't have to point at them and say, see, that's not right. That shouldn't be there. My world is good. Because the things that are in process are still going to show up. That's why you need to use this, not only in the morning when you first wake up and in the evening, but throughout the day, as you encounter situations in your day, and you realize that there's something negative pulling you, your attention, your focus, your energy. We're going to talk about this a lot today. My World is Good is putting new energy there. It's putting you and focusing you in a way that you've never focused before. So focusing you in this fashion means that between right here and now, in this present moment, to My World is Good in your world is going to take whatever it takes for you to navigate that alignment and all the things that will change along the way to support that. But it will start immediately. It will start immediately, because when you affirm, when you step into My World is Good, and you feel that and you engage that, it begins to promote change in your psyche, in your energy, in your field. And what begins to happen is your perception begins to change, because your perception is simply all of that reflected back to you. So it's going to happen quickly and intently, but there are many things that may need to shift between here and the full expression of My World is Good. And that's one of the things I'm noticing in my world, is that There are things that are moving in a bigger way because I'm focused in my world is good. So as I see these events happening in the world, I see them as the unfoldings, the things that are coming to the surface, the things that are coming up to be changed, to be moved, to be aligned differently. So my world is good. Bring that into your world. Make it a part of your experience every day. 7.5 billion unique worlds inhabiting this planet. We have the power to make incredible changes happen if we focus ourselves. And we're going to talk about that more after this little break when we come back to the show. And I'm excited that you're here. Remember, this is the year of conscious creation. Remember that you are the creator. And I want to support you in that in every way possible. Because as you step into being the creator, you step away from a world of fear. You step out of the consciousness of fear. You have to, or you can't create. So join this movement, guys. It doesn't require anything other than your attention, intention, and energy. That's all. I don't need to know your religion, your color, your sex, I don't need any of that, your politics, any of it. I just want you to be a part of my world is good. Thank you for that now. Thank you for that later. Thank you for that always. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being part of this. And we're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back and dive into the show. Here we go. All right, we are back, and here we go. We are diving into the show. Let's go. Musings of the week, the mind grip, boredom, and surrender. So I gotta tell you, I my world sometimes just kind of blows me away. I was having a conversation with my buddy Moshe, you know, who I do conversations with Moshe with. And I was sharing with him some frustration about a friendship, a relationship that went sideways. It didn't feel good. It was an uncomfortable situation. And we were talking a week or so ago, and I was railing about it. I was upset because I wasn't finding resolution, because I couldn't come up with a win-win. I couldn't seem to come to a place of getting this to resolve in a way that I thought would be good, useful, you know, because I was also conflicted within myself because of the actions that have been taken. It's hard for me to just say, oh, well, you know, or just let all that go. You treated me like I wasn't a friend, and now there isn't a friendship. So it's pretty clear. But the thing that occurred that was so profound for me, I was taking a walk with Tucker, my dog, and after that conversation, and I realized as I was walking, hit me like a ton of bricks, that I had to take my energy off of that topic 100%. Because what was happening for me is I was using it, I was engaged in it, it was juicing me up, but it was consuming my energy in a negative way. So it was creating this knot. Every time I would think about it, I would get sad. It would cause my mind to go in a spin. The spin would pull me in, and I'd be like, what? And so suddenly, you know, a huge chunk of my energy, my field is all absorbed in this problem and trying to solve it and trying to fix it and trying to make it better and trying to figure out what to do with it. And all of a sudden I stopped and went, dude, it's not yielding. It's not changing. Stop attending to it now. Stop putting your energy on it. Stop thinking about it. Stop anything that has anything to do with that situation. Ignore it. Put it out of your mind. Find another thing to put your attention on, because that thing is causing your energy to go in ways that doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve your purpose, your message, your show. It doesn't serve anything. It serves absolutely nothing. And so I did that. I said, okay, I get it. I mean, it was a visceral thing. It was like on the mountain, all of a sudden going, what am I doing? What am I doing right now that I am consuming myself this way? So the message of it was clear and simple. Drop it. 100% drop it. Let it go. Leave it alone. Do not put any energy there. If you do, if it comes up, shift to something else. Simply do not give yourself permission to play there. And I thought about it a lot. I mean, for me, in my own experience, it was brilliant. It was extraordinary. It was a mind-blowing experience of saying, I don't think I've ever really paid attention to that before. I'm so busy trying to create a positive outcome that I don't recognize that the things that I'm doing are binding up my energy in a negative way that are putting me in a negative emotional space that I can't get out of. And it just spins and spins and spins and spins and spins for hours and hours and hours and hours. And there is no resolution. And that's the message of this that I want to share with you guys. When you are attempting to deal in a situation that there is not a resolution immediately available, there's not something you can do, or you're not prepared for it, simply drop it and take your energy out of it. Move away from it in whatever way you can. Find other things to occupy your time and energy, but do not put your energy and thought into that. As soon as you do, change it. As soon as you notice it, shift it to something else. I don't care if you think about fluffy clouds in the sky or blades of grass. It doesn't matter. Find anything but that, because it is harming your energy. It's binding your energy, and it's putting you in an energetic and vibrational place that you are of no value to yourself or anyone else. Because the other thing that I noticed is that because I was allowing that to consume so much of my field and my energy, that I was not having energy for the things that I really wanted to have energy for. And that was really upsetting. And that was all part of the realization, was all of this energy being consumed by this experience. And it's not okay, because my life is so much more than that experience. It isn't to say that that isn't going to be dealt with. And I still ping into it to see where I'm at with it and to see what happens. And as soon as I do, my energy starts to go, contraction, not good. And I go, okay, not ready yet. Not time yet. It's not there yet. That's the reality of, and this ties into what I talked about with Peter Jennings on the show the other day about lost it. Holy crap. We were talking about, well, we'll come back to that because I completely lost my mind for a second. But the point being that we have the ability to focus in whatever way we want. But remember that wherever we put our focus draws our energy and attention. And when it draws our energy and attention, we have that much less focus or energy to bring to the table for the things that we want. So that's the first piece of this that I thought was kind of extraordinary. And the other piece is the next piece is going to dive into more of the mind games. Because if you don't think that's a mind game, wait till I share the next one with you. But before we go there, and before we get into more of the musings of the week, I want to take a moment to heal. And this is normally the time that I would say we take a moment to focus. But today I'm going to call it a moment to heal, even though I didn't change the title there. And again, this is the result of what I was observing today as I saw some of this stuff on the news. And I realized that we are all in our own ways struggling, because that's what's happening in the world. Well, the pandemic has uplifted and turned everything upside down. The state of our government, the state of the world, the state of other governments. There's just a lot in the world that's topsy-turvy right now, and environmental changes and how we individually are feeling and dealing with our world. You look around the jobs market and the people that are not looking for jobs, the people that are not trying to find things the old way, because the old way doesn't work. The old way isn't serving us. The old way isn't serving anyone. And so this moment of healing for me was when I saw the story about the guy, the Jewish man getting beat up in New York, and then the other ones that were getting bottles thrown at them at a restaurant in LA. I went, you know what? We got to do better. And how do we do better? We do better because we focus differently. And how do we focus differently? Is we make a choice about the energy we want to bring onto this planet and into this world. And so what I want to do today for our moment of focus is I want to bring in, I want to utilize what's called the Mata Bravna. May you be well, may you be happy, may you be free from suffering. But I want to take that to a different level, because I want us to engage the love energy. I want us to consciously emanate and radiate love, and then build this orb of giant unconditional love that we are going to move out into the world. And we're going to begin to learn how to consciously move love into the world, which doesn't mean you have to go out and hug everybody you know, and you can, because that's a great thing. But I know for me, I was struggling for a long time thinking, how can I do this? And then I realized, wait, I'm energy. I'm all energy. All I have to do is decide the energy I want to move, and then move it. And so I've been doing this for a long time and I'm seeing the impact. And I want to share this because I want you to see the impact. This is an extension of My World is Good. This is a process of opening us up to the experience of the love that we are and using that love to create positive change. So, wherever you are right now, I just want you to settle in and take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Let the breath unfold. Let yourself settle into this quiet space, into this present moment space. And as you're able to, as you're inhaling through the nose and exhaling from the mouth, just let your eyes close and come into your internal space. Focus your awareness from the inside to a point about a foot in front of your third eye. So as your eyes are closed, your focus is present right here in the eyes closed. So I don't want you to lose your focus in the closed eye process, because we want to be conscious and present and fully engaged and aware in this meditation to emanate and radiate this incredible energy. So as you're continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, feel the relaxation come over you. I want you to become aware of your field, become aware of the energy that is you. And as your eyes are closed, as you become aware of this field, you'll begin to notice that it's enormous. Your field is enormous. All of you is so powerful and so incredible and so amazing. And at the center of that bright light that you are is the spark of the divine, is the spark of God, is the spark of creation. And that is where that love emanates from, the center of your heart. I don't know if you've all heard of a toroidal field before, but if you look it up, toroid, T-A-U-R-I-D, toroidal field, it is the field of energy that emanates in all directions from the heart, right? And this energy is extraordinary. And as you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, focus deeply into the center of your heart. And I want you to become conscious and choose to consciously emanate the energy of pure love. Just command it. And then sit in that experience as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel the warmth begin to emanate from the center of your being. Feel the buzzy, warm feeling as that love begins to expand. It's a palpable feeling. And as your eyes are closed, as you're breathing, you're expanding this love as you're breathing. You're allowing this beautiful energy of pure love, illuminated by the light of loving kindness, to expand out into your field. And as it expands into your field, be aware of it becoming a giant orb of pure, unconditional love, illuminated by the light of loving kindness that you are emanating from the center of you. And sit in that giant orb of beautiful energy as it expands out to embrace your field and just your field. And feel that love as it's directed back to you. Breathe it in through the nose, breathe it out through the mouth. Feel the power of the love that you create. This incredible orb of unconditional love, illuminated by the light of loving kindness. That is you. Feel that beautiful, beautiful energy, filling your energy, healing your energy, opening and aligning your energy. Feel that incredible experience as that orb just radiates that incredible love to you and through you. And now I want you to expand that orb to your community. I want you to use that giant orb that's coming from your heart. I want you to expand it to include the state or the country that you live in. I want you to expand that orb as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Continuing to radiate and emanate this incredible energy of pure love illuminated by the light of loving kindness. And before we take that further, as you continue to focus in your field and you see the impact of this amazing love in your own field, I want you to repeat these words. I appreciate that I am well. I appreciate that I am happy. I appreciate that I am free from suffering. I appreciate that I am well. I appreciate that I am happy. I appreciate that I am free from suffering. I appreciate that I am well. I appreciate that I am happy. I appreciate that I am free from suffering. Feel that magnificence. You loving you. And now allow that field, that energetic orb, to embrace your community, whether it's a city, whether it's a state, whether it's a country. See that giant energy of pure love illuminated by the light of loving kindness, completely surrounding, completely saturating your community. See that, feel that orb penetrating deeply into all aspects of that community, that deep love. And you in the center of that orb, generating that beautiful, pure love energy illuminated by the light of love and kindness as you continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. From this space now, from your heart, you've already created this magnificent orb. Now I want you to send from your heart to the hearts of all sentient beings within the sphere that you have created. From your heart to all the sentient beings within the orb of love that you have created. Connect heart to heart, from your heart to the heart of that sentient being, all of the sentient beings. And as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, feel the power of these words. May you be well. May you all be happy. May you all be free from suffering. 3 times. May you be well. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May you all be free from suffering. May you all be well. May you all be happy. And may you all be free from suffering. Breathing it in. Feeling that powerful exchange. Feeling that beautiful, pure, unconditional love illuminated by the light of loving kindness, deeply affecting your community. Deeply changing your community. Every single one of us doing this right now in this moment. Changing the world right now in this moment. Continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feeling your continuing radiation of that love, just being in that radiating space, radiating that pure love, feeling that connection to all sentient beings. Continue to radiate the goodness, continue to radiate the wellness, the happiness, the freedom from suffering. Radiate it and feel that orb and feel that energy, that toroidal field, just cycling that energy around the entire world. Just feel it and be in it for this moment. That is the power of you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much for being willing to walk this with me, for being willing to share your energy in this moment, to reach out to as many sentient beings as we can, and to saturate this planet with unconditional love so that we can create the space to allow for the changes that need to take place in order for the world to be that. So don't get hung up on what you see in the world. Get hung up on the love you bring to the world. Get focused into sharing that experience with as many people as you can. And you don't have to do that by touching every one of them. You do it like we just did. Reach out from your heart to the hearts of all sentient beings that you want to reach, and then radiate and emanate that pure love and share it and ask them to receive it and integrate it so that they too can become this beacon of love consciously. Consciously. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's bring it back into focus now. Thank you for continuing to focus in that breath. Feeling that amazing love, let's carry on our conversation. And I want to take this to the next level with this. And that is that I want to look at this mind grip. So we talked at the beginning of the show about the experience of a relationship and a friendship that changed, and putting energy in a place that is of no consequence, meaning when I put my focus there, it it distorts my energy. It makes me crazy. It gets me wound up. It gets me hyper emotional. It gets me into places that don't serve anything because there's no resolution. And that's the part I want you to really understand, is that the part about the not being a resolution. If there's nothing to resolve in the moment, then there's no reason to put energy on it. There's no reason to put energy on it. Leave it alone. Let it do what it needs to do. Let the energy do what it needs to do. And sure, you're going to check in. You're human. You want to see what the state of the state is. And if it's not yielding, then simply remove your attention again. So I want to take this, excuse me, I want to take this to another place now. And that is number 2 of the holy crap moments that I had this week. So I live a unique life because I've chosen to. Throughout my whole life, I've kind of my focus has always been about the experiences. And as I've evolved and grown, and as I've become more conscious, and as I've become more aware, and as I've grown up as a human being and as an adult, I've made choices in my life about how I'm approaching my life. And I talk about them all the time on the show, and I've talked about them in my book. And I'm very congruent that way. I'm very consistent. And at times it's very challenging because it's not the mass conscious approach, as it were. Nowhere. And if I encounter mass conscious approach, I tend to move away from it because I want to create in my own right. I believe in the idea of conscious creation so powerfully that I want to be consciously aware of the process of creation in my own world, and not because I chose to get on a treadmill or because I chose to go the prescribed path, because for me that path is not fulfilling. So what's been happening for me is there's this internal dialogue that goes on, and this internal dialogue has been going on for a long time. And you kind of laugh at yourself. You'll laugh at me about it because it's been going on for a long time. And when I tell you about what it is, you're going to kind of go like, wow, like I did, because it just blew me away that I hadn't seen it in this way before. So the story is this. The internal dialogue tends to be along the lines of, you're not doing enough, you need to do more. What you're doing isn't what you should be doing. You should be doing something else. Why aren't you doing more of this? Why aren't you following this path? Maybe you should do this thing. Maybe you should do that thing. Maybe you should follow this person. Maybe you should follow that person. Maybe you should do this with your business. Maybe you should do that with your business. Shouldn't you focus your business in this fashion? And are you sure this is the way it should be done? And on and on and on it goes. But mostly it's all judgment. It's all assessment and judgment of my choices. And you'll say, okay, yeah, I will bet many of you can relate to that. I'll bet many of you can see that happening in your own world. So there I was. Again, this time I think I don't even remember where I was when this occurred, but I think I was in meditation because I was kind of looking at different things in my world. And what I realized as I became acutely aware of that dialogue, and I was attempting to move into a place internally that I do during meditation, that if my mind starts to loop, I can direct my focus up and away from all that nonsense and go back into a space of quiet. As I was attempting to do that, I realized that as I look around my world, my internal dialogue and my world don't match. What do I mean by that? Well, there's nowhere in my world that I can see that the nonsense that my mind is trying to tell me is showing up. Do you follow me? Nowhere is it reflected back to me what's going on in this crazy mind. And in that moment, again, this incredible full body visceral experience, there is not another human being on the planet who is judging me like I am judging me. There is no one or nothing that is on my case out there. It's all here. I am directing my mind is attempting to direct me to the mass conscious alignment. And because I refuse to go there, it's using everything it can in my subconscious to bring forth anything it can to get me to jump on that train. And so every time I say, yeah, no, thanks, I'm over here, this is my lane, it amps up. But the extraordinary thing was recognizing that it is happening nowhere but right here. And I've allowed it to become loud enough that I think it's coming from other people and other things in my life. And it's not. So firmly convinced that this dialogue I have to hide because it shows me that I'm an imposter somehow. Except I'm living as authentically as I know how. So it makes no sense. But the reality of that was like, what? I am doing that all to myself. No one, no government, no nothing, no doctors, no husbands, no friends, no family, no nothing is doing that. But this mind right here. The realization of that, I can't even begin to tell you. It was like literally a huge chunk of resistance just fell away. I mean, I literally felt it go. I felt a whole section of my energy come online in the realization of that. And again, just like the friend situation, the deal here is finding a different focus. I don't have to fight my mind. My mind's going to do whatever it does. I don't have to attend to it. That's the difference. And I think that's something we can all take and is a value. You don't have to attend to the mind. Just change to a different focus. Do something else. And I talked to Moshe again yesterday for the first time in the week since we had the conversation about my friend and about that stuff. And I shared with him all of that experience. And he's such an amazing human being because we've known each other a long time. So he's very dialed into my energy and my experience. And so when I share these things with him, I'm always eager to hear his perspective because he doesn't pull any punches with me. If it doesn't feel that, he's going to share it with me. But if he feels it, he's going to share that with me as well. And so I was sharing these with him and he was like, wow. And this is such a different place than you were a week ago. And wow, what an incredible shift that is. And I'm not saying that as it's self-aggrandizing. I'm saying it because the profundity of the shift that occurred is kind of mind-blowing to me. The level of tension that left my field, that left my body in realizing that I was at the center of the maelstrom changed my life. It changed on a dime right then and there. Extraordinary stuff, guys. And it's true for all of us. I'm bringing it to this forum because I want you to take the time as we have this conversation, take a moment and feel into that for yourself. That internal dialogue that you hear that you're not enough, you need to do more, you need to have this, you need to have that, you need whatever that is. How much of it is real? How much of it is actually occurring in your world, or how much of it is just creating fear, which is causing you not to move forward, or causing you to stop movement, or causing you to resist your world, when all that's happening is right here and it's not happening out here. The challenge, of course, over time is that when it goes on too long in here and you begin to talk about it, you begin to engage that energy, now you're going to be creating things you don't want. But when you recognize that dialogue, remember that dialogue is an amalgamation voice. It's an amalgam. My English today is crazy. It's an amalgamation of the significant voices that you have experienced, particularly when you were younger. So your mom, your dad, your grandparents, police officers, teachers, significant people who had an impact in your thought process. That's those voices, all of them combined into one voice that sounds like you, but it's simply your mind using your subconscious experiences to soldier gather against what it perceives as a threat to its existence, which is, I'm not going the mass conscious route. I'm going my route. I'm going my aligned route. I'm going with God. I'm not going with this nonsense. And so it's doing its job. That's just why I say you don't want to fight it or resist it. You just want to notice it and then make different choices. Make choices that serve your field. And so that's what I get to do now as I say, wow, I'm not wasting another ounce of thought on that. I'm not wasting another ounce of my energy entertaining that. Because what I also know is that when I live in that inspired space, if there's something askew, I'm aware of it and I handle it. And it's a clear 1, 2, 3 step thing. It's not like I have to go hunting. If it's an inspiration to action to the next step of something, it's the same. It's a compulsion. It's an energy that says this is the me that's the next me. This is the next me. This is the next me. This is the next version. This is the next iteration, because it's the thing that's going to strike your aliveness. It's the thing that's going to expand you. It's the thing that's going to engage you and satisfy you in the deepest possible way. So that was part 2 of this amazing adventuresome week. And I hope that makes sense to you. Again, if y'all are watching or listening, if you have a question or a comment, head over to Adventures in Truth Facebook page there where the live is. You can type right in there and send your questions or comments in. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Science of transformation method, and I can't tell you the difference that it's made in my life.
This program is all about you coming into the greatest form of you. All right, guys. Science transformation. I want to work with you, and I hope you would want to work with me. The Science of Transformation is an incredible program. It's all based on everything I do from Fear is a Choice to this show. It is changing your relationship with fear, but more importantly is introducing you to the greatest part of yourself, to that expanded part of who you are. It's a process that allows you to surrender energetically, to let go of the things that have not served you, and then to build a new energetic framework through the mind, through the prefrontal cortex, that's going to stimulate this powerful change in your experience. My role in that is as a facilitator to reframe, to help you reframe your experience as you begin to go through this transformation. Because as you experience new levels of transformation in your life, the human experience typically wants us to look in history for understanding what that experience is about. And what I can tell you is that your answer isn't there. Your answer is in the reframing of your viewpoint and perspective so that you can embrace what's happening. And in the embracing of it, take on more of your power, reintegrate more of your power, and to step into the greatest expression of who you are. www.thesciencetransformation.com. Check it out. Testimonials there, videos there, lots of information. Check out, I've got an introductory offer for the first 2 sessions. And I also do a free consultation with anyone who's interested to find out if we're a match, because I don't want to take your money and move you through a process that you're not aligned with. So www.thesciencetransformation.com, check it out, and we'll be right back. All right. So today we're talking about the musings of the week, and we're going to take the last segment here. I think the last segment, pretty close to the last segment. We're going to talk about boredom. This is something I've observed, something this pandemic has brought to light, but something that I found also in throughout the course of my week that I think is significant, and that is the danger of boredom. When someone says they're bored, they're not engaged. When someone says they're bored, they're not conscious. When someone says they're bored, They're not stepping into their power. See, the evolution of life, we have been trained to believe that the process of life is this prescribed. You're born, you're raised by your parents, you go to school, you get good grades, you make friends, you go to high school, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get a job, you go to this, then you get married or whatever you do, and there's a sort of process to life. And I'm going to say buppus to most of that. But ultimately, in the beginning, of course, you're too young to be able to execute on your own. But as you move through your life, as you get older, and I hear this a lot with younger people, as not so much with older people, although of late that's been the case. But boredom is one of those things that is an energy killer. Because when you live in a space of boredom, you give your mind permission, absolute permission, to create whatever it wants, to concoct whatever it wants, because you're bored. So you shift your focus away from being connected, being in your heart, to being in your head. And just like I shared the story with you about the dialogue, the internal dialogue, when you are bored, you give permission for that dialogue to run rampant, but you also give permission for anything else to run rampant, because you are, one, being unconscious, and secondly, not attending to your energy. Because boredom is not a state. Boredom is not somewhere that you live. Boredom is not a thing that is a desired destination. It is a lack of attention. It is a lack of consciousness. It is a lack of focus. If you're bored, meditate. If you're bored, go for a walk. If you're bored, do anything but be bored. It is dangerous, it is unhealthy, and it is destructive. There is no part of boredom that is useful to any human being. It's simply a poor excuse to disconnect. It's a poor excuse to not engage, and it's a poor excuse to remain unconscious. I know I'm being harsh, but it's real. It's just that important. Never use boredom, ever use boredom as an excuse for anything. If you find yourself going there, stop it. Don't put those words to your lips. Shift it to something else before those words come out of your mouth. Do not communicate boredom. I know that sounds like kind of black and white and cut and dry from me, and it is. There is no goodness in boredom. It doesn't exist. Don't use it. Find anything, everything to distract you from that experience. Because boredom will kill you. Boredom will damage your energy. Boredom will diminish you as deeply and as profoundly as fear does. Because it has no value. It is an energetically yuck space. So again, these things that we come, each week is this amazing adventure in life. And if you give yourself permission to that, understand, as we were talking about the other day, there's this cycle of be, do, have, right? We create and then we wait. That was the show that I was not remembering earlier with Peter. We start from a place of desiring, right? We start from a place of, I want to be, I'm just being present in this now moment. I'm going to be present now, and I want to be, and out of that beingness, I have a desire. And out of that beingness, I have a desire. And so I just be with the desire, and I give it energy, and I fill it with love, and I just be with that desire. And I wait. Not wait. I just wait. I'm just there with it. I'm in allowing space. I'm in a space of complete openness and allowing, because I'm just connected to my desire and beingness. And as that energy coalesces, as you juice up that desire, as you feel into that desire, you will be inspired to do something. You will be inspired to take a step, right? And that action that you take is in the direction, hopefully, of this thing coming to fruition in your experience. But once you take that action, you wait. You still use your energy. You're still in that space of creation. You're still in that space of allowing, but you're just in waiting. Because between the creation of the desire in your current now and the thing you want to create, there is a path. And that path can be, there can be stuff on that path that is between you and your desire. So when you allow for those spaces of waiting, you can allow for the energy to move through the pathway, through the path of least resistance, as it were, through the path of least resistance. And those things that need to change in order for you to get to that place will change. But if your focus becomes no longer about your alignment, which is, am I in being this? Am I in doing this? I was just inspired. I took the step or 2 steps or 3 steps, and now I'm in peace. I'm in waiting, but I'm still loving and juicing this process because it's amazing. And I'm in the process of creation, right? And as you do that, the more you do that, the more the things that could be in the way no longer need to be in the way, because that's not where your attention is. So you kind of go this path of least resistance to the destination. And then suddenly you were waiting and you were allowing, and now you're having. You went from a place of being that sparked a desire to doing something that began to manifest that desire to having. And all along the way in the journey was the waiting, was the allowing, was the positive energy that you're putting forward into these experiences to give them the most energy possible to align you with the desire that you have at the end of that. That's all you're doing the whole time, is aligning. But think about how we do that normally. We decide what we want, and then we start taking steps immediately. Oh, I have to do this, and this, and this. There's no inspiration. There's no energy. So you have no conscious awareness of where you are in relation to the thing that you desire. You just know you want that thing. And so you start throwing shit at it. You start throwing things at the wall to see what's going to stick so you can figure out where to go, rather than just stopping and being. That's the joy of creation. I be with it. I be me. I be in my field, and then I feel into these things that I want. And then I'm like, wow, these are amazing. This is incredible. I love this feeling. I love how this feels, and I love how I'm going to feel, and I love how I feel now, because just in the creation of it, it feels amazing. There's nowhere in that spectrum that boredom is even remotely acceptable or useful. If you go to boredom in the process of that creation, you derail the creation because you step out of the energy. You literally remove yourself from the flow of energy that you have been creating and say, no, I'm bored. How useful is that? I would say not. So all through this conversation today, the message is the same. All through this conversation today, it takes us to the same destination, and that is find the space of you. Get connected to you, whatever you have to do. Let the mind be the mind, but don't only attend to it. Don't focus on it unless it's something that requires your attention or is necessary to focus on. You know, if you have a problem in front of you, yeah, you want to focus on that and figure out what you can do or step into possibility. But I would suggest that rather than attack the problem like anything else, I suggest you step back and go into beingness with the problem. Sit with it, be with it, let it inform you. And it may inform you that it's nonsense, stop paying attention. Or it may inform you that here's the next step. Here's the inspiration to help resolve this situation. Now it's resolved. Now I have a better situation. So take all that in today. I hope that this conversation today impacted you greatly. I hope that you could take some nuggets from this and that you can find new ways to align in your own world, that you can find new ways to shift out of that fear-based experience into the opportunity-based experience, that you can surrender boredom and lack of focus and the mind. You can surrender those things to the greatest part of yourself so that you can attend to your mind, you can attend to your emotions, you can attend to your desires, and you can attend to your beingness, which is most important. And I would ask you to remember the Mata Bravna, to continue to focus in that powerful love energy at every opportunity. Come back to this anytime you want to. Come back to this meditation on this day and use this meditation to help you generate and emanate the pure energy of love, illuminated by the light of loving kindness. I love you. Find your joy, baby. Find your joy. Thank you for being part of the show. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time on Adventures in Truth. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Adventures in Truth Livecast. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to learn more about Jim's book, Fear is a Choice, Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love, check it out at www.fearisachoicebook.com. Also check out Moments of Truth, a new offering from Adventures in Truth. If you'd like to work with Jim, check out www.thesciencetransformation.com to book a session. Tune in live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time and every Friday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Or look for our new releases and podcasts every Monday. Until next time, be well, and we'll see you again on Adventures in Truth Livecast.